It's Friday show. Welcome to the Associated Guests. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, we're just going to do a couple of previews, and apparently Charlie Kirk's killers, or assassins, I'm not saying alleged, he did it. Whether or not he had backing is up for debate, but apparently that started, and apparently he's smug, and things happened, but we'll get into that later. Let's see what dropped at the Game Awards. I don't watch this show. I think it sucks, and it's just that one fucker's ability to make himself seem relevant. I'm all about the real Game Awards over at Side Scrollers myself, but let's watch a preview, shall we? I saw Of the Old Republic, and I am here for it. Please don't suck. That's all I ask. Literally. That's all I ask of anything that comes out. We're just going to pause every so often, just because we have to. Oh, man. I will say they do not skimp on the look and the sound of Star Wars. The writing, on the other hand, we'll see. I would like many wars. Oh man, like I said, beautiful, sounds amazing. I'm really hoping it doesn't have the plot of a modern Naughty Dog game. Now, a Naughty Dog game. The first Last of Us and prior, maybe. Female lead, seems. Or hopefully, like any of these games, you have the choice to choose. You remember that, when you could choose in American RPGs, Western RPGs? When you could choose your gender and your sexuality? Hopefully that's the case, and it's not just a bunch of white chicks prying themselves in the games for the sake of it. Either way, I'm here for it because, as you'll know, if I can ever get any of the Old Republic games to work on my newish computer, I usually play as a chick anyway, you know. Oh man. Okay. Well, that is certainly that. Let's real quick. What games has Casey Hudson worked on? Oh boy, he's Canadian. Okay. Alright, Baldur's Gate 2. I didn't play the second one. Neverwinter Nights. Okay, is it a man or a woman? His work. Okay. Worked on the original Knights of the Republic, worked on Jade Empire, worked on the Mass Effect trilogy. That's all good, but also worked on Anthem. Oh boy. Project director, fulfilled the same role in development of the Mass Effect trilogy. Now, just remember, in a lot of these cases, the director is not the reason that the game is good. It's the reason it looks good. It's the reason it comes together the way it does. Not necessarily the reason it's good, because, keep in mind, also worked on Anthem. Whether or not that's sucking Yeah, and that's what. Sorry, let me move that down here. Here's everything that he's been the game director on. It's a good resume, except for this, and this is what worries me. I'm here. Sorry, you're looking at the Supergirl probably. Um, but as far as Fate of the Old Republic, I'm here for it. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. Um, but we'll see. Hopefully, and again, people always say that the games are progressing, but Dragon Age, keep that in mind. This is a person who works or worked for BioWare. I don't know if they still do. They still currently work for. Has joined their video game wing. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Media space, BioWare. Okay. Well, that's Knights of the Old Republic. I didn't say Knights. I said Fate. Okay. I keep clicking on Fate of the Old Republic, and it keeps sending me to Knights of the Old Republic. So there's not a lot of information on it out there yet, but I'm cautiously optimistic. But at the end of the same time, he used to work for BioWare. Technically doesn't currently, at least as far as I'm seeing on a couple of the sites I went to. Now keep in mind, if this is still BioWare via EA, yes, they got bought by Saudi Arabia, but at the same time, they also just made Dragon Age: The Veilguard. So I don't know how I feel about them forcing you to play as anything. The Knights of the Old Republic, ever since 2002 or 3, when the first game came out. Again, you could choose your gender, you could choose your sexuality, you could choose a lot. You could go through, choose your name, your ethnicity, everything. I'm okay with having to play as this white lady, but again, we're going backwards. A lot of, and I know people want you to have to play as that weird horny thing from Dragon Age: The Veilguard, but you should be able to choose, and that should be what people are pushing for. But it doesn't seem that they want that. They don't want you to choose. They want you to play as them, which I get. But at the same time, if you really cared about all these things that you say that you care about, you would want it to be like it was originally, where you could choose all these things, where there was a way to go down a little storyline that fit closer, not exact, to your way of thinking, or a fun way, like, if you wanted to be the dark side, you had the option. If you're just specifically a good guy in this, I don't know how I feel about it. I usually go the bad guy ending. It's more fun. It's not as fun to let everybody live in these games. Come on, we all know this. But I really want them to remake the original Knights of the Republic. But anyway, let's continue and see. We saw the teaser the other day. My God. Let's see what this new trailer is going to look like. That's just disrespectful.
You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy. I, Cara Zor-El, hereby declare that 23 will be the best year yet. Let's be honest, babe, it's not a very high bar to clear.
I will say she has good parts in the comics. The comic that this is based off is okay. Yeah, no, he just pissed on a picture of Superman in the newspaper at the beginning of that. So basically, yes, disrespectful, but the comic that this movie's based off of is decent. I was really hoping that they would wait to make the Supergirl movie till after the first actual Justice League comic. There's a really awesome comic based on Supergirl where she becomes a Red Lantern. At the same time that Clark Kent, Superman, is possessed by some kind of weird essence of Doomsday, and Red Lantern Supergirl and Doomsday Superman fight at some point. That would have been fucking awesome. But instead we're getting this. Yay.
I didn't know
But this
any of
comic
you were
isn't
still
bad.
alive. What was it like to lose everything in a day?
Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Do others on your planet have powers like you?
No, it's a pretty small group of two.
Okay. Is that Lobo? That's Lobo. Okay. If Lobo's in this, Lobo isn't in the actual story, but I could be here for it, especially if this is Momoa.
What Superman meant.
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Trying not to get copyright. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic.
The trial for
Yeah, and that's the thing. I can't remember. The comic book is basically just beat for beat something else. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, it's not very Supergirly. It's a decent story, but it's kind of just something that happens to the side. It's her own little self-contained story. But I kind of see where it's at, like, because she's been through so much, because she's, Krypton was destroyed, and then her own little city got captured by Brainiac, and then that got destroyed. So she's seen her entire people destroyed twice. So she becomes an alcoholic, but since alcohol doesn't affect her on Earth because of her powers, she goes to somewhere with a red sun, which greatly diminishes her powers but doesn't erase them, I think. And she goes there to drink and then falls into this whole little journey with her not fully powered. But if Lobo's going to be in there, she's going to have to get fully powered at some point. So I'm curious to see how it is. I love Lobo. That's my man, especially if it's Momoa. It's Lobomoa. But let's see what's going on with this real quick, and then we'll bolt.
Charlie Kirk's killer is going to be televised? I can't believe this.
As we restarted, so it's still a problem.
Thank you. I appreciate all parties weighing in on this important matter. And I find that there was a violation of the standing decorum order that was in effect as of October 30th, 2025, based off what's been proffered, as well as the EMC order signed by the court. As previously stated by Ms. Visser, the court does have discretion in determining whether to terminate the broadcast of these proceedings.
Yeah. Oh, that preview just came out too. I try not to judge movies based off the little teasers that they put off before they put out the full main trailer. And even so, like I said, if No. This is the actual trial. This is the guy that shot Charlie. But no, the Street Fighter movie, it looks close. I saw that Guile's hair is in its full flat top glory. Ryu's looks really good. Vega, I like the guy that got to play him in the 90s better, but, what are you going to do? It's very well cast for the most part, but we'll see. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Proceedings.
So the court gets to decide whether it gets televised or not.
And again, if there's specific circumstances warrant such action that the court would need to make findings in order to do so. I find that excluding the cameras from the courtroom would be disproportionate for this hearing.
Oh my God.
This guy looks like the guy that played Hellboy went to college instead of, becoming, was it Ron Perlman? He looks like John Perlman, his slightly dopey brother.
Oh my God. Your early Christmas present? I can't believe this. I don't even know what to say. We just can't stop winning. This is insane. It's obviously politically motivated. Of course. I want to see this guy rode out on a rail. I want to see him publicly executed. Absolutely.
I don't know about all that, but...
Duh. Don't you? Of course. Why not?
Basically, they're putting it up to the court themselves as to whether they want to be televised, which they're not going to be, because if they choose to televise it, that means that they put their names and identity out there, which people are going to get anyway. And it's going to be the exact same way as the Floyd case, where everyone in the jury was tampered with. Every single one of them were threatened, harassed, and bullied and doxxed. So they'll probably vote no cameras, which is a bad choice. But
what? It's only fair. Yeah, it's only fair. He got to kill somebody else in public. Why can't we kill him? That doesn't seem fair at all. Everyone wants it. We're getting it. Absolutely. We need to have more trials like this televised. We do.
No, I don't think they're going to let this guy go. He seems to think so, the kid that actually did it. But then again, the guy that killed Irina Zarutska, he got off. He's free to roam about again.
Eye for an eye, brother? Oh, no. Oh, no. It's much more than that. What type of execution? I mean, if it was up to me, I'd shoot him in the neck. I think that would be the most poetic way to do it. But they'll probably do something boring.
I mean, it'll be lethal injection, more than likely.
Making it very clear, first, that...
I can't remember. I think some archaic way of execution's still legal in Utah, because it's Utah, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
The transmission cannot begin until court is in session and must end as the court ends the session, and cannot be filmed before or after.
Wait. I was AFK. Let me listen to that again.
Begin until court is in session and must end as the court ends.
So,
like, when Henry Cavill got replaced by the lesser Hemsworth in the Witcher series, this feels like they did something similar for Hellboy with Ron Perlman. He's just like, hey, I'm totally him.
They can. So basically, they have to start the broadcast while they're in the courtroom. Okay, that's fine.
Session and cannot be filmed before or after.
Sure.
Yes, I'm still talking about
that was
the
like the Johnny Depp trial. They did the same thing.
As previously stated in the decorum order, EMC must be followed to the letter. The sanction for today is that this camera will be relocated away from defense table to where the bailiff is, where Jeff is standing over here. I want to immediately address any possible transmission of shackles, as previously stated by counsel, and remove the possibility of capture of screens of the computers at defense counsel's table as well. In addition, if there's further violations of the standing decorum order, this court does have the right and will exercise termination of broadcast of these proceedings.
Yeah, sure, if they fuck it up.
And I simply want to put all parties on notice, to the press, to all parties, that this court takes this very seriously.
Well, you really believe the official story of no exit wound with the 30-06 caliber? No, I don't know what happened, really. I mean, he could go up there on the first day and be like, yep. Well, what happened? Well, Benjamin Netanyahu called me. And he said, we've got a job for you.
I mean, that is what
We've got
Candace Owens
something
is putting
that
out
we
there.
need you to do. You got one last job.
While the court believes in openness and transparency, it needs to be balanced with the constitutional rights of all
where are his
parties
parents?
in this case.
Oh, that's not what
As such, we will take a brief recess to allow the relocation of the camera and to the place indicated by the bailiff, and then we will resume these court proceedings.
Oh, my
I am
God.
anticipating this to take perhaps 5 minutes. All right.
Sir,
And then
you're
we'll
breaking
come
the
back
fourth
on
wall.
record
Stop looking at the
and
camera.
handle the remaining of this hearing. I appreciate the patience of parties as we move forward. We are trying to do the best.
Oh, still trying to figure that out.
Oh my God. So there is it looks like it's going to be broadcast. This is insane. So there's actually stuff about this. Let me see if there's a video about it. Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, apparently he was smirking.
Please be seated.
My birthing people.
Court is now in session.
It's always a bald. It is a bald.
Counsel, if you could enter your appearances, please.
Your Honor, Christopher Ballard, Ryan McBride, Chad Grunander, and Lauren Hunt on behalf of the state.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Kathy Nestor, excuse me, Richard Novak, Stacy Visser on behalf of Mr. Robinson.
Good afternoon.
He's
Good
being
afternoon.
defended by two Karens.
Yep.
Yep.
There's the mama hen right there.
Sounds about right.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeff Hunt.
Good afternoon.
David Ryman. I'm hearing on behalf of the media interveners that are identified in our motion papers.
Good afternoon.
Michael Judd, Your Honor,
Interveners.
Parsons, Bailey, and Latimer, on behalf of another set of media interveners also identified in the briefs.
Good afternoon. And I recognize Mr. Robinson in the courtroom as well. Good afternoon. And for the benefit
Good
of the
afternoon.
record, calling case 251-403-576, State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Counsel, as we're moving forward today, I want to give an overview of what we anticipate doing. And it comes down, we're addressing three issues.
What about the one where he
first
shot
is
somebody?
the October 14th, 2025 audio recording of the closed hearing and the October 24th, 2025 transcript of that hearing. The second is the state's motion to amend or clarify the publicity order, commonly known or referred to as the gag order.
Oh, yeah, so they get to talk about it.
Motion for limited intervention,
Yeah.
and request for notice of motions.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
to
bad
close,
afternoon for sure.
seal, or reclassify, and which has been filed by the media organizations and by counsel who are present today. So as we begin, the first part is we'll begin by addressing the October 14th audio recording and the October 24th transcript.
I don't know why they said
So what
that. Has
happened?
prosecuted physical and sexual abuse cases? Okay.
So that I may hear from the parties regarding which portions of the recording,
Beep, beep.
The record should remain.
You turn the
sealed.
video up? Yeah, a little bit.
All members of the public and the press will be excused, and the
Oh, wow.
hearing will not be broadcast. And this is because I need to hear what should or should not be sealed or protected.
Okay,
and
that-
it would not benefit to have everyone listen to
That
what
kind
should
of
be
makes sense,
sealed.
to be honest.
And so after
Sure.
I've heard argument, we will invite all parties or the public and the media to come back in the hearing.
Well, they've got to
will
figure it
resume
out, right? I mean, privately, of
transmission.
course. They have to
We
make
will
sure
then
that
take
nobody
up
says
the
Israel.
motion for limited intervention,
Mm-hmm.
followed by the state's motion to amend or clarify the
Yep.
publicity order. These portions, the last two portions, will be open to the public and to the press.
Okay, all right.
After hearing argument on all three matters,
There we go.
I will take a brief recess and then return to issue my ruling today. We will then stand in recess. So at this point, we'll go ahead and excuse the public and the media, and it is the court's order that transmission.
Liking this judge? Yeah, he's a pretty relaxed guy, isn't he?
Your Honor, we have
Sure
one
seems
request
like it.
with respect
Did he
to
say
closed
something about a
hearing.
transmission?
May I hear it on that?
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry,
Thank you. Richard Novak for Mr.
Sorry,
Robinson.
I don't know what words mean.
Mr. Robinson has some immediate family members who are present, his
Yes.
father, his mother, and his brother, and we would ask the court to permit them to remain in the courtroom during the closed portion of the hearing.
Uh-huh.
To the state.
It's an ASMR
My only
judge.
concern
Yeah,
with that,
true.
Your Honor, is that we're going to be talking about court security measures. And
Measures or measures?
I don't know that we'll have to go into a lot of detail about that, but I do have concerns about those issues being discussed in public.
All right. Mr.
Yeah,
Novak,
I
do you
would
have
assume
authority that
that's probably
supports
true.
allowing them to remain in a closed hearing?
No, I think it's subject to the court's discretion.
Is that
to
Chuck
decide
Schumer?
Who is
Will we
and
see
is not
another
a
retard Karen lawyer like last time?
member of the public.
No, we're
I
actually
think
going to
they
see
have a
two of
unique
them, apparently.
relationship With Mr. Robinson, and they
Okay, so the lead
would
counsel
certainly
Sure seems
for
that
the
way.
defense is
by any
this
orders
Chuck
the
Schumer
court
looking guy.
makes concerning disclosure of what is discussed in closed session. But obviously, it's up to the court.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Mr. Novak. I'm going to rule that they will be excluded as well. It
Yes.
is just given the nature and the sensitivity of it, I believe it is appropriate to treat all
Think it's better
parties
and better for
involved in
you?
the
It sure
public
does.
equally, though I do
Things have been going
recognize,
crazy for me
their
recently.
relationship with Mr.
Really, like,
Robinson.
I mean,
Thank you for your request.
this has been
I
nuts.
think that
We'll
that
go
is the
into-
best choice, not letting the parents stay in there, because that does technically put them in a bad position in the long run. It really could.
Closed session. Thank you.
God damn. Well, there's the guy right there. Where's the where he? Yeah, there he is, right there.
Yeah,
The
apparently he
fucking
was
idiot.
smirking and smiling.
And, I think that again, you've got to look at the public execution. I think we need.
Okay, I don't necessarily agree with the public execution. I do think it should be an execution, and the people at Turning Point should be able to be present. I don't think it should be televised or anything like that. I think that's archaic. No matter how strongly you feel against somebody, we don't need to really go into our more baser instincts when it comes to these kinds of things. The fact that Charlie died. Was it just 2 days? No. Was it? That was a busy week. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, and the fact that it kills me because, look, as all of you know, I still consider myself fairly liberal, but I don't like where the party's going, and I certainly don't like that so many people who are anti-gun and anti-death and all that are okay with all of these gun deaths on the other side of the aisle just because they disagree with people. It's not right. It's not. I think Charlie Kirk, he was a good man. He had a few things I disagreed with, but all of the saying he's a racist and all this is completely detrimental and stupid and wrong, and he wasn't. He just wasn't. Like, you can go through anything. You can Google or YouTube why Charlie isn't a racist, and it'll show, or why he wasn't a homophobe, and it'll show him standing up for black people and for gay people. There was someone, I remember specifically, someone saying that there shouldn't be any, I think, gay and black people in the Republican Party, and Charlie Kirk pretty much called the guy a retard and said that he was an idiot and he has no place in the Republican Party, because we can't cast out people for having these differences between us. Leftists want to be the only one. Exactly. And the funny thing is, they don't know how to use them. They have security who probably Republican, let's be honest. But yeah, no, that's why I don't fear like organizations like Trans-Tifa. Antifa maybe because they mostly fight like that movie The Warriors with bats and wrenches and garbage can lids. Whereas Trans-Tifa, they use guns, so they're further away because they're cowards. and they don't know how to shoot them, which is fine by me, so long as I can, get to safety pretty quickly, because even people get lucky. But that's all I'm going to say for that today. Just plan on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to do, Saturday and Sunday. I don't know which I'm going to do first, but I plan on catching up on some Steven Crowder bits. He did a lot this week that I really want to go through. And I also want to go through the Piers Morgan-Nick Fuentes debate. That's right. Piers Morgan got his ass handed to him by Nick Fuentes in a similar method to how Ben Shapiro put him on his ass 10 years ago. I'm not a huge Fuentes fan, but since Kirk's death, he has smoothed out. He has moderated a little bit. No, I completely agree with that. They don't accept defeat, but at the same time, they'll just get more into their ways. And I really, this is a chance for the right. I don't think this should be an eye for an eye type thing. I think if that's what the left did when they retook power, they've always been in charge of the media. Let's be just brutally honest with that. But they've given way because the right has mostly been in power. Let's be fair on that. For a large portion. I don't know if they've just been biding their time, the left, or what. But as I always go back to that old Lewis Black adage, Republicans, which is a party of bad ideas, and the leftist, which is a party of no ideas. A Republican stands up and says, "I got a really bad idea," and the Democrat says, "And I can make it shittier somehow." I'm not a fan of either party. That being said, I also don't go for the golden hedgehog, the third party. I'm a big fan of Spike Cohen, I think is his name. Spike Jones. Whoever the guy who ran with Joe Jorgensen. I'm a big fan of his. He seems okay for the most part. But yeah, I'm curious to see if Elon Musk goes forward with the American Party. I think it needs a new name. But that's all I got for today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Sorry about the short and very late show today. It's been an eventful week. But I will be back on this weekend for the 2 shows that I just mentioned. Until then, keep yourself safe out there, and do not let extremists make you extreme, okay? We have to meet somewhere in the middle. We cannot push to the far sides of either party. We have to meet in the middle somewhere. Compromise has to be had, and we have to be able to live together, or else we won't have a country, okay? Don't let the empathy of upper and upper middle class white liberal women kill us all, basically. All right.